Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Furkan, a product designer working in London, and in this video I'm going through my top Figma tips for beginners. So the first tip I'd like to talk about is leveraging and making the use of Figma Mirror. What's amazing about Figma Mirror is that it allows you to replicate your designs on Figma real time on your iPhone or Android device. Also web designs. I only learned about Figma Mirror for web recently, which is super useful for replicating web app designs. So as a designer, you don't have to wait for developers to start creating your designs to get a sense of what the production app or website could look like. You can really allow you as a designer to get even closer to your designs, allowing to get the extra attention to detail, taking you and your designs to the next level, seeing them real time on the phone. It can help you understand how different things look like on an iPhone. What do certain font sizes and font weights look like on the phone? When designing in Figma on your laptop or your monitor, things often look a tiny bit different, which can all add up and have a big effect overall on your designs. So having the design on your phone will really allow you to see how well colors work, different layouts, different hierarchy, and it can really just take your designs to the next level. You can also take your phone outside and see how designs perform in the open world. How does my designs look with a bright sunlight? How do different contrasts look? So all you have to do is download the app off the App Store. You don't have to connect your phone via USB to your laptop or be on the same Wi-Fi network. It's hassle-free. It's a really simple and effective way to help get your designs to the next level. So the next tip I'd like to talk about is learning how to use shortcuts early on when learning Figma, which can save you so much time in the longer term. In Figma, I know what I want to do inside the tool. For example, I want to move this layer up inside a frame, I want to create a mask, I want to crop this image. These are really common things to do, and there's all shortcuts for them. This can take 10 seconds of your valuable time when you're not using shortcuts. Spending hours every single day on Figma, this all adds up over the course of the day, the week, and eventually the year. So starting to use shortcuts initially, you might have to think before they become a natural habit, but over time, the time you save in the long term can really help you speed up your workflow significantly. So a funny story is that a few years ago, I was really curious about Figma. There was a lot of talk on social media. I saw a lot of designers using it, and I was using Sketch at the time. And I saw there's a design meetup in London. Initially, I had no intention of going to the meetup. However, my plans for the evening changed. I decided to go to the meetup having no idea Dylan Field was attending. At the end of the meetup, I had the opportunity to ask Dylan, "What's your number one tip to get started in Figma?" He said to learn shortcuts using the keyboard tool, an underrated gem of a tool that has saved me so much time and has learnt me so many new shortcuts. So the Figma virtual keyboard, it displays all the common Figma shortcuts, and you can activate to see what common shortcuts are available, which should allow you to learn the core shortcuts whilst you design. So you do this by pressing the question mark located in the bottom right of the screen and click keyboard shortcuts. Learning shortcuts is easy to forget that it's an ongoing process. I'm still learning so many new shortcuts today. I'm learning so many new things. It's about practicing and using them every day to build up that muscle memory in the longer term. One of the most important tips I think is to remember when it comes to learning new tools is to remember to enjoy the process and relish the fact that you're a beginner. A few weeks ago you might not have heard of Figma, and now you're creating components, you're using masks. Celebrate all these small wins. They all add up to something bigger in the longer term goal. It's easy to get caught up in this longer term goal, so remember to celebrate these small wins. They all add up to something bigger. At first, your designs might not look as good as you want them to. They might not look as good as things that you've been seeing on Dribble on social media, but these guys have had years of experience. So remember to compare yourself to your progress from a few weeks ago, a few months ago, or even a few years ago. So a key quote I like to remember is, "The master has failed more times than the beginner has ever tried." This is a key quote that sticks with me throughout my career so far. And whenever I'm learning something new, I always remember that these guys with so much experience, they've been doing the whole thing for years. And I've only just started today, a few weeks ago, a few months ago. I need to celebrate my small wins. first and put my progress first. The next tip I like to talk about as a beginner getting started in Figma is learn the basics of components to save you so much time in the longer term. Components are what can be really game changing for your workflow. If there's one thing to understand in Figma really well, it's components. You create something once and you can use it throughout your whole design file. So then once you update the instance of your component, it'll update everywhere. It's honestly like magic. So be sure to spend those extra hours learning and understanding the fundamentals of components. The reason being is because lots of things in Figma stem off the whole components model, especially going forward. For example, we've seen the update of variants in Figma, we've seen auto layout changes. To use these features fully, you have to understand how components work really well. Not only will it allow you to be a better designer, it will allow you to understand how things are developed better as well. An important part of being a product designer is understanding the development process. Developers create components as well, so understanding this will help you get closer to the development process. So don't underestimate the power of components and learn more about them. The next tip I like to talk about when learning Figma as a beginner is leverage and use a community around you for help. Figma honestly have such a wholesome community online. Whether you're using Twitter, Slack, Discord, or Figma have an official forum now for help. These are all amazing places you can go for help. So remember, if you're stuck, you're not on your own. If your design is solo, there's a massive online community globally around you to help you. Everyone wants to see you to win. Also, Figma have great tutorials online. There's YouTube tutorials, there's Figma playgrounds on the community file. Figma playgrounds are a great place to have interactive tutorials on how to learn Figma, and they're all free. So remember to harness and use the resources around you as a beginner. Thank you so much for watching this video. Those were my top Figma tips. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you found them useful, and subscribe to the channel for future videos, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.